Hi friends, welcome. Hi. Today I'm going to take it back to the very beginning in wreath making. So if you just started making wreaths or want to learn how to start making wreaths, this is the video for you because I'm taking it way back to the beginners. This is how I learned. This is how many of us that make wreaths now, this is how we all started, with the Dollar Tree work form. So we're going to start out. I'm going to show you how to set your wreath frame up. This is how I do it. Now there are different ways to do it, but this is how I do it. I just like the way it looks. I use 14 pipe cleaners, and I'm going to show you how to set that up right now. I leave mine whole because I have fat fingers. So if they're too short, like a lot of people will cut them in half and use it like that. But if they're too short, as I'm putting the mesh and the ribbons and things into the pipe cleaners, they're just too short. I can't get my chubby little fingers in there to twist them nice and tight. So I use 14 on so the Dollar Tree has 6 sections. You see the crossbars right here, and there's one right here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the inner 2 rings, I'm going to add my pipe cleaners. On the inside 2 rings, at every crossbar is where I add 6 pipe cleaners. Normally I hold this. As I'm doing it, I'll hold it in my lap and I'll go around and do it that way. So this is a little bit awkward for me doing it this way on the table. But you're just going to go in between. So you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're going to go in between the 3rd one and up the other side. So you have 2 wires that you're tying your pipe cleaner around. So I'm just going to go around and get this, pull this one a little bit longer, get this inner ring set up, and then we'll move to the outer. I put 8 pipe cleaners on the outer 2 rings. Like I said, I like the way 14 pipe cleaners looks as far as ribbon spacing after you get it all put together and everything. I just like the way 14 different sections to put the deco mesh and the ribbons and stuff on. I like the way it looks, opposed to using only 12. A lot of people will say count the sections and double that, and that's how many pipe cleaners you use. Well, there are no rules. You can put 18 if you want. You can put 20 if you want. I don't, because I don't like the way it looks, but you know, I'm doing 14, so I'm going to go in between. So I have 8 pipe cleaners to put on here, and there's only 6 sections. So in a couple of the areas, I'm just going to go a little bit closer together. But for the most part, the pipe cleaners are going to go in around these 2 wires, the outer 2. And right in the middle of those. But like I said, there's going to be a couple of areas where I'm going to put them a little bit closer together because I have 8. And I just twist it around 1 or 2 or 3 times, depends. And I'm going to put this one a little bit closer. A little bit closer to the other one so I can make them all fit. So I'm ending up putting 2 in this section right here. I have 1 here, and then I'm going to put 1 right here. So I have 2 in this section. I'm going to put another 1 here. And since I have 2 in that section, I'm going to go in the middle right here. And I think I'm going to go back over on this side where they're more spread out, and I'll add 1 in here. Once you get all the mesh in and everything, you're really not going to see much of a difference. So, you know, it really doesn't matter if you have some that are closer together and some that are not. Okay, so this is the way it looks. This is the inner. There's 6 on the inner and 8 on the outer. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this wreath is going to be very basic. So like I said in the beginning, if you're new to wreath making or if you want to learn, this is a very basic, easy way to learn. I'm going to be using, since it's March, and Easter will be coming up, and oh my goodness, that light is bright, but I'm going to be using this sign. So I chose dark purple, lime green with the lavender and white. And I'm gonna cut up some of each and just kind of alternate them around and put them in and see how it goes. So if you don't have a cutting mat, mine only goes to 24 inches. If you don't have a cutting mat, not a big deal. Pull out a yardstick and a pair of scissors and cut your mesh. When I'm using the Dollar Tree frame, I like it to be as full as I can get it. So I usually cut my mesh at anywhere from, I'm going to say like 19 to 24 inches is how I cut my mesh. For this one, since I don't have a ton of purple and green, I'm going to do 20 inches. So I'm finding the 20-inch mark, and I'm just going to toss these to the side. And cut at 20 inches. Now I have 14 ties. I don't know why I keep trying to grab for that over there. So if I wanted to, I could cut 14 of each color and add all 3 colors into each tie. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I am just going to, like I said, alternate. So I am going to finish cutting these up at 20 inches and I will be right back. Okay, I finished cutting my deco mesh. And by the way, this is 10 inch deco mesh. I do use 21 inch now as my base, my first base when I make my wreaths now. But that'll be in a later video. For now, we're just using 10 inch mesh. So what I like to do is I start on the outer rings first. It's just easier for me to fill in all the outer ties first and then go in the inner and fill those in. So let me show you what I find to be the easiest method. And it's just the basic ruffle. You see how it naturally curls under? I'm gonna flip it like that. Not flip it, but I'm just sling it out to get it kind of straightened out. And then I fold it under about 1 to 2 inches. Find the middle. Use your two. Let me turn this way so you can kind of see. I know it's not easy, but I use my thumbs and then I use my fingers up here and gather it together right down the middle. Keep going till you get to the other end and leave about 1 or 2 inches. See how it's folded under here? Leave it like that and bring it all together, and you have what looks like a butterfly. Some people say a bow tie, but I think they're butterfly wings. So, bring my frame back up here. You're going to take these ties right in the middle, and you're going to have some strays, but that's why I fold it under to try and keep that fraying to a minimum. There's no way to completely get rid of that. Even by using a wood burner, it's never going to 100% not fray. You're going to have some kind of fraying. And here you have your first one. I place them side to side. Everybody has their own ways of doing placing down their mesh, or they have their own styles. We all have our own styles, but right now in this video I'm doing the simplest way and how I learned, and hopefully it's simple for you. So again, I'm taking this mesh, folding it under and walking it down the middle all the way till you get to the other end. Leave that other end folded so it's folded on both sides just a little bit. Place that right in the middle of your pipe cleaner. And give it a twist. I like to lift where they meet to get some fullness out of it. So I have the two purples. Now I'm going to do green. I'm going to kick that out, fold it under, find the middle, and walk it straight down, as straight as you can. All the way to the other end and put it in the next one. All on the bottom, the outer rings is where I'm working right now. Just the outer right now. So these two are what you call window pane, I believe. Window pane mesh, deco mesh. So they're more see-through. And by the time I get it all filled up, you shouldn't be able to see through it, but if you can, I can always go back in and add a couple of extra on top, and that'll hide it up. Because you don't want to see the wire. You don't want to see the wire frame when you're all done with the wreath. It looks tacky, so you don't want to see that. You want to make sure everything's covered up. So I did the purple and white, purple, green. I'm going to go back to the purple here and do the same thing every time. Fold it under about 1 inch or 2, find the middle. And I'm just walking it all the way. And sometimes it likes to stick. Most of the time it likes to stick. So just show it's who's boss and take control of it. Here I'm going to add it into this one. Oh. And give it a twist or two. Bring it up. Let it kind of lay up against each other. Okay, so that's what I'm going to continue to do. I will finish this and I'll come back in just a couple minutes and maybe do 1 or 2 of the middle ones with you to let you see the progress and how it's going. I'll be right back. Okay, friends, I have 4 more to put on the inner ring here. I only put 2 up here, so purple was the last one. I'm gonna add a green one right here in the middle. I'm gonna take that mesh, sling it out in front of me, fold it over about 1 inch or 2, taking my thumbs, gathering it right down the middle with my fingers, my sausages, and all the way to the other end, leaving a 1 to 2 inch fold at the other end. And I am just gonna plop this right down in there, in that inner pipe cleaner. Give it a couple twists. You can fluff as you go, or you can wait until you're all done to fluff. But at some point, you're going to want to fluff it a little bit. And now it's this color. Fold it under, walk it down. And plop it down in there. Okay, 2 more. Got the purple and the green. Find that center, walk it down as straight as you can. And if by any chance you don't stay in the middle and you stray off to the side, go back that way, go back this way, and oh, it just kind of looks messy to you or whatever, don't panic. You don't have to take it all apart. Just gently pull it wherever you see it's shorter on one side. Give it a little tug and even it out. Not a big deal. Don't panic. And you know, once you get everything on there, even if it is messy, once you get all the ribbon and the sign and everything on there, you're not going to be able to tell. Now me, being a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to wreath making, that would drive me crazy. I would have to redo it and make sure I'm in the middle so it's all nice and neat, which it bugs me that I'm like that, but I am because I just am. I don't know. That's the way God made me. Fold it over an inch or two. Walk it down the middle. And put it in the last one here. Give it a little fluff. Fluff, fluff, fluff. Fluff. Just make sure it's all nice and fluffy. This is what we have with just the mesh. Okay, so we got a little bit of color going on there. And what I like to do is before I add any ribbons or anything, and if you see you have little strays or whatever, you can snip those off. Don't cut the mesh, just cut the little strays that are popping out there. Get some scissors and just clip it off. No biggie. Okay, so like I said, before I put any of the ribbon or if I'm adding flowers or whatever, before I do any of that, I add the sign. I myself like to use pipe cleaners. And what did I do with my two? Oh, they're right here in front of my face. I use pipe cleaners. I just feel like I can get them tighter than I can floral wire. So I have a little jewelry. These are aluminum. So I have a little jewelry hole punch, and I just use this and I punch little holes in my signs, top and bottom, and wire it with some pipe cleaners and then attach it to my wreath. So I'm gonna fold that in half to find my middle, thread it through that little hole. Give it a turn. Do the same thing for the top one. Twist and turn the whole sign to try and get it nice and tight. Okay, so if you're a new wreath maker, you don't have the fancy little tools to thread these through the mesh and everything, so I do have a needle that, where'd the other pipe cleaner go here? I lost it. Where'd you go? Really? Oh, it's hiding. It was hiding. So I'm just going to do it old school like I used to and thread it through the mesh so it stays in place. The mesh helps it stay in place. So I'm just gonna go through, I'm just picking a spot, a random spot, and I'm gonna poke it through the mesh. Sometimes it takes a minute, so be patient. Something that I'm not. I am not patient. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to keep my cool. Okay, so I got one side through. Now I'm gonna do this other side. I'm gonna go a little bit, so the other one is right here. And I'm gonna put this other one, just give it a little bit of space to make sure I go around at least 2 of the underwires. I will show you in a minute. Or not at least 2, at least 1 or 2. You do want to make sure, don't depend just on the mesh to hold your sign into place. You want to make sure these pipe cleaners are around 1 or 2 of these. I like to have them around 2, so I'm going to push that one right here. So now it's wrapped around these 2, or it's going to be wrapped around those 2. But let me flip it back over to make sure I get my sign in the middle, or as close to the middle as I can. And with my hand under here, I'm just going to use my 2 fingers, and I'm not pulling super tight, but I'm giving it a little bit of a tug and just turning 2 or 3 times to kind of hold it in place. I may have did that just a little too tight, but that's why I don't twist it up all the way though, because if I need to make adjustments, I don't want to sit there and have to untwist the whole thing. So I just give it a couple of twists until I know exactly where I want it. Okay, got one through. Now I'm gonna do this other one. Try and get it on the other side of the bar here. Now this does take a little bit of time, especially if you don't have, what is it, the darning needle? Especially if you don't have one of those to help you thread it through all the mesh. And this one is giving me a hard time. Just keep at it until it goes through. It'll eventually get through. I'm going to bring that on that side and make this one go up there. Okay, so now I have it one on this side, one on that side. I'm going to keep these in my hand, flip it back over to see where I want it. You don't want to totally flatten your mesh. Sorry, let me get back in frame here. I'm not used to doing pre-recorded videos. By the way, my name is Gina with Gigi's Crafty Hands. I don't think I ever introduced myself when I first came on. My name is Gina. I'm used to doing lives on Facebook, but not YouTube. So even though I'm not live, it's still a little nerve-wracking because it's a whole different audience. Okay, so I'm just getting that exactly like where I want it, and now I'm coming to the underneath side, nice and snug, giving that a good turn, good twist. let's take a look at it. And it looks centered to me, good enough anyway. Yeah, looks centered. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over and go ahead and figure out which way I had twisted this. Okay. And just finish twisting it, and I'll show you how I like to finish it up at the end to make sure that it's nice and secure. Let me grab my wire cutters right here. Just gonna snip the rest of that off, toss it in the trash. I like to come up here and wrap it around the closest wire there, and I just wrap it around until there's no more to wrap. Sometimes I will cross it over this way and wrap it up that way. I also, before I send it out, ship it out to whoever purchases it, I also put a little dab of hot glue on that just to make sure it does not unravel or the end pokes up and scratches the door or pokes somebody's finger. I always put a little dab of hot glue on it. If it's a wreath that I'm making just for myself, I don't worry about it. And I'm just gonna keep turning this or wrapping it. I'm gonna wrap it down that way. Okay, so this is what we have for the ribbon choices. I'm going to show you that in just a second. This is the wreath, and I have my ribbons right here. I don't know if I'm going to use them all, but we're going to use some of them. I had pulled them all out because I was going to make a totally different style of wreath. I was going to use an evergreen base, but I decided to, for the purpose of this video, to go with the Dollar Tree one. So we have this beautiful velvety ribbon that matches the sign perfectly. I have some neutral color. I have this dark green, which is gorgeous. I don't usually use Ferris silk on a Dollar Tree frame, but I just might make an exception this time. Light purple, and then just for contrast, I pulled out this black and white polka dot from Sam's Club. I like a pop of something in my bows just to make it stand out and pop. I may not use this, I'm not sure, because this will also make it pop because there's some dark green in the sign. So I may just end up doing these, maybe some of that with the green. I'm not sure, but we're going to figure it out right now, because I think before I even add any ribbon tails, I'm going to make a bow. So let's figure out how we want this bow. I use zip ties for my bows because I'm able to squeeze it nice and tight to get that bow to pop out and look nice and pretty. Let's see here. I wish I was live right now so I can ask y'all's opinion, but I know this is going to be on the bottom. Purple. I could throw the neutral in there for some pattern because it's Swiss dot, just for a little bit of pattern, and then that on top. Can't really see that. Or I can add the black. I really like the black in it. I really do. I think I'm going to try it with the black. Lately I've been making my bows by hand, but I think we're going to do that on a later video. For now, I'm just going to use the Easy Bow Maker. And let me get rid of this notification on my phone. Sorry, guys. Sorry. And I think I'm going to put the bow somewhere right here. Probably somewhere right in here. And then we'll do ribbons and whatever else I decide to do. I'm going to go for maybe, let's do like an 8 or 9 inch tail. Gathering it here. Twisting it. So this pretty side is still facing up. But this is the ugly, the back side of the ribbon. I'm going to put that down in there. And then bring this over for a, let's see, what size loop do I want? I don't really use Dollar Tree store frames anymore. So on my other wreath forms, they're bigger and they're raised up. So my loops are usually about 7 inches, but this is altogether a smaller wreath. So I think I'm gonna bring it down to 6 inches. I'm gonna push it down and then twist it on this side to bring that back side of the ribbon up again. And then bring it back this way. Can move that out of the way so we can see here 6 inches. I'm not going to make a loop again, so I'm just going to push it straight down with no twisting. And I think I'm going to bring that, I'll put the tail over on that side, bring this one over here. Trim it off. That's the first set of loops. Now I'm going to come in with this black and white polka dot. I do my tails different lengths. You can always cut them off if you end up wanting them shorter. But I rather do them longer because you can trim them up. If you cut them too short to begin with, then you're kind of screwed because you can't get them back. I'm coming in about a 1/2 inch. So this is about 5 1/2. 5.5-inch loop. Yeah, I'll put it that way. Put that way. I always end up moving my tails around and the loops around in different directions when I'm done anyways, so I don't even know why I fool with it as I'm making it. Now I'm gonna do this purple. Woohoo. Give it a twist, push it down, bring that loop over. I'm gonna come in another, maybe not quite 1/2 inch. Well, yeah, not quite 1/2 inch. You just want to make each loop smaller than the last one. So that way they stagger and you could see each ribbon. That. Try and speed it up here. I don't want the video to be too terribly long. I'm going to top it with this dark green. I just love this. Take the pin out first so I don't stab myself. Love, love, love this ribbon. I'm gonna leave a little bit more of a tail. Give it a twist. This ribbon is much more thicker and holds its shape way better, but that's what you get when you buy expensive name brand ribbon. Bring that over there. I think I might just do a center loop. I think I'll do that. I don't want to waste a whole lot of expensive ribbon on on a Dollar Tree wreath. Well, it's not really a Dollar Tree wreath. It's just the frame. But still, let's do an angle. Okay. So we've got that part done. I'm going to take my zip tie and slide it under the very bottom. I kind of hold it with my arm over here to keep it in place. Tighten it, but don't cinch it all the way. Grab it with your 2 fingers right here, your thumb on top. And I like to kind of get my fingers in there so I have a good hold on it. Don't squeeze it too tight, otherwise you're going to make the bow collapse. Get this, what's it called? Zip tie. Get that to where it's, you spin it in the back. And I just slid my pipe cleaner in there, and that's why you don't want to cinch it down all the way tight, because you got to have something to anchor it with. So now I'm gonna do it a little more snug. Now I know that I want my bow to sit up and down this way, not like this. So I'm gonna work with my tails before I cinch it up all the way tight. Just kind of gonna play with the tails a little bit and the loops. I think just kind of get them into place. Let's go back that way. Leave that there. Put this one that way. There and there. Okay, so now I have them in the general area that I want it in. Now I'm going to cinch it as tight as I can. Really give that bow a pop. And then snip the excess off. Now this is what I'm going to secure it to the wreath. Get rid of the bow maker. And sometimes what I even do is, if the mesh is really, really pretty, I'll not add ribbon and just have the bow. Because the mesh sometimes is just so pretty, I don't want to cover it. And it's really beautiful. So I know the bow is going to go right in here. So I'm not going to cut these off yet. Which way did I turn that to tighten it? I'm just going to kind of move them out of the way because even though the bow's going to be here, I may still need some ribbons. Not sure yet. Like I said, I want the bow to go up and down this way, but kind of on a slant. So I'm going to place it where I think it'll look good. And I'm just going to poke these pipe cleaners through the mesh again. And where's the wires? I'm feeling the backside for what wires I can wrap it around. I think I'm going to wrap it around that first inner wire. And then I'm grabbing the other end. And the deco mesh is sticking to each other. I'm going to bring in this other wire. So here on the back side, once again, I have these two each side of the bow. And I'm coming around the first ring and that second middle one. And that's where I'm going to tie the bow. I'm going to pull it down pretty secure, not to where it's going to totally smash everything, just like the sign. You don't want to pull it so tight to where it smashes all the pretty mesh. Just tight enough to where it's not going to droop down once you hang it. Okay, and I twisted this around about 5 or 6 times to hold it into place. And since I cut this one on an angle, I think I'll go ahead and do this one. I'm just going to dovetail my ribbon and just fold it together. Dovetail it. So you fold the ends together. So you have the wired edges together. You cut up towards the wires. That gives you a dovetail. Same with this. I'm going to cut this one shorter. Probably that one too, but let's see what we got first. Just gonna finish dovetailing these, and then, oh, come on now. And then I need to decide what ribbons I want to go around the whole thing. So that wasn't too difficult, was it? Not for that first part anyway. I am going to trim this one down. But look it, there's your beautiful bow with a pop of black and white. Here, just go around and fluff your loops. You can always move this around. That's why, another reason why you don't want it super, super, super tight, because you want to be able to play with it if it's covering up the sign too much. But it's okay if it's covering a little bit of the sign. Just kind of curl it. There we have our little bow. Beautiful bow. I love it. I'm going to go ahead and trim this. So we got that finished. I am going to decide which ribbons I want to add. Oh, that bow is so pretty. I love it. Oh, sorry, my ribbon is over here unraveling on me. Where's that pin? Let me pin it back up so it doesn't do that. So if you're new here, congratulations, so am I, and you found me. This is my first time making a video for YouTube. Like I said, I've done Facebook Lives, many of them. So that I'm familiar with, but I'm new to doing this on YouTube. So this is especially picked out for YouTube. So I would love it if you find this at all helpful. I would love it if you subscribe to my channel, help me out. I'm trying to get it going. I have a couple of other videos that they were Facebook Lives that I uploaded to this channel just to get it started. So that's why I'm here doing one just for YouTube, not on Facebook. Even though it's not a live, I can't go live on YouTube or anything yet, but I just wanted to do this. So for the ribbons, I might add in a couple more of this black and white. I'm not going to do every one, but I might do every other one. I really like it with that green. I don't want to use this dark green because it's too expensive. Ribbon's too expensive. But I might do the the beige, either with the purple or that. I might. Oh no, I need a 2.5 for that. Okay, so I'm gonna finish picking out my ribbons, and I will cut them. I'm only gonna cut them to 12 or 13 inches. I'm gonna get this done, and then I will be right back and let you join me putting them all into the pipe cleaners. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. I've cut all my ribbons. I decided to go with the lavender and green, cut at 12 inches. I dovetailed everything. The polka dots, so I'm going to put these two in every pipe cleaner, every tie around the wreath. And then I cut some of these at 30 inches And I'm going to make little bows to go in every other one. So I will show you what I mean. At the moment, we are going to start with, let me move my scissors. Excuse me. We're going to start with these two, adding them in, and then I'm going to go back around and add the black and white polka dot in every other one. So, let's show you what I'm going to do. Got our pipe cleaners down here. I've folded each one. I always crease them in the middle, just so I know where the middle is, and it kind of makes it a little bit quicker. Set it down. I can see that crease still. I'm going to put the smaller one on top in the middle, and I'm going to, just like I did with the mesh, you're going to take your thumbs and you're going to pinch it in the middle. And you get your little ribbon tails that way. This one you're not going to really see a whole lot, but I don't want to have any bare spaces. So I'm just going to go ahead and add them in, even though it's under the bow. You'll still see a little bit of it. I give it about four twists to make sure it's on there. I don't cut anything until the very end, until I know what I want to do. Because a lot of times I'll go in and decide to add florals. And if I cut off my pipe cleaners, I'm not going to have nothing to tie them in with. On these frames, I do like to kind of tie in my florals if I can, instead of just gluing. I like to also reinforce them with a little bit of tying. So we're going to do the same thing. Take that green, take that lavender, set it on top of each other. Put it in the middle and scrunch it, gather it in the middle to get your little ribbon tails. I hope I've given clear enough instructions on how to begin the process of making a wreath. And like I said earlier, if you do find it helpful and you would like to see some of my future videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. I will eventually be doing grapevine wreaths with all florals, greenery and florals. I also from time to time do table decor, centerpieces, other little arts and crafty things. But for the most part, I am mainly a wreath maker. So this will be the main focus on my channel. So if you like it, I hope you come back. I would love to see y'all come back. So like I said, I'm just adding 12-inch ribbon tails all the way around. Find that center where you have the crease. And just keep going all the way around. Until you don't have any more empty pipe cleaners. So I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to pause it for a minute and finish up the all the outside ribbon tails, and then I will come back and show you how to do what I'm going to do with the little black and white polka dot ribbon. Okay, see you in a minute. Thanks for waiting. Alrighty, I'm back. I have all the ribbon on. I have not separated them or done anything. I'm going to wait until I add the last bows on top. So I'm going to go every other one, every other tie with these, just to give it a little pizzazz. So this is what I'm going to do. Now, you don't have to do this, especially if you're a beginner and you just want a basic wreath. You can stop right here and let this be your wreath. But I usually separate these out a little bit. So if I was going to stop with just this, I kind of separate the ribbons out. Just like so, to where they're, you know, they're fanned out. So I'm not stopping here. I'm going to add a little bow to every other pipe cleaner. So I want my first one here, then the other one's going to go up here. So I cut these, like I said, at 30 inches. The easy beginner way to do this bow is just decide how long you want your tails and get them kind of even. Hold it in the middle, bring this to your fingers and scrunch. I don't know why I said that like that. Scrunch. Just scrunch that in the middle until you get a little bow. There's your little bow, and I'm just going to add it right in. And then I'm going to twist this about 4 times. Fluff your little bow. Fluff the little tails. There's your little bow. And I'm going to do that, like I said, to every other one. This, I'm going to untwist this a little bit because I just do. Next one. Decide how long you want your ribbon, ribbon tails. I'm going to say right about there, crisscross them, come down here, hold it, bring that to the middle, and scrunch it. Make sure you get the back side there, scrunch it up, fix your tails, and just place it in the pipe cleaner. I decided to go this route because I decided that the wreath is going to need a little pop of color throughout it, not just in the bow. So I wanted to add this around the wreath as well. I'm going to separate the tails under that. And then fix those again. There's your little pop of color. Now I'm going to go around and do the outer ring. So I have one here, and then I have this bow over here. So I'm going to start in between those two so it's balanced out. Crisscross, hold it at the bottom, Nope, I want my tails a little bit longer. Just a little bit. Bring it in. Scrunch it. And add it to your pipe cleaner. This is going to be so cute when it's done. These, when you make wreaths on the Dollar Tree frame, they are flat frames, so they're thin, very thin. It can go in between a storm door, screen door, whatever. So, you know, they're not super thick to where you can't put them in between the two doors. Let me separate these out a little bit. It's really sticking to the mesh. But that's part of working with the deco mesh. It's a pain in the booty, but it sure does look pretty. Okay, I'm skipping the one over here. I'm coming to this one. Find your tail length, grab it, bring it in the middle, scrunch it. Very simple. And if you have a hard time, excuse me, doing the little bows this way, you can use your bow maker if you have one. Separate these ribbon tails as I go. Skip that one, coming to this one. I'm not untying it all the way, but I am doing it a couple of times, because when you twist it, then you add the ribbons, you twist it again, then you're adding more ribbons, twisting it again. It kind of gets built up to where it's floppy. So I like to get all the ribbons as close as I can to the mesh, as close as I can to the frame, to keep it nice and tight in there. Doing the same thing here. It's okay if your tails end up a little bit longer on some of them. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can always trim some of the tail off if you want them all to be exactly the same. I try to get it close, but if some of them are just a little off, that's okay. Separating the underneath ribbon tails. Fix that again. Skipping this one, going to the next. This is the last one. Just untwisting that a little bit because I did twist it like 4 or 5 times. Last one. Cross. Got your ribbon tails. Get them even. Grab it at the bottom. Bring the back forward. And scrunch it in the middle. Got that? Very easy way to do a little bow. I don't normally do my bows like this, but this video is solely intended for beginners. That was my focus with this video. Okay, let's fix these underneath ribbon tails. Do that bow. Now just real quick, so with the pipe cleaners, I'm not going to add florals to this. So with the remaining pipe cleaners, you can twist a few times and cut them off and fold them in, or you can leave them and get a pencil or something and just curl them up and have like little curly thingies. You can put little glitter balls, poke the ends with some little glitter balls to finish it off. That's usually what I do. I will curl it up, and then the little like vase fillers that you get from Dollar Tree, I just pop it on there and it looks really cute. So that's it, folks. Let me finish this. I'll finish the pipe cleaners later. I just wanted to let you guys see how I feel it's the easiest way, the most simple way for a beginner to start making wreaths. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, I'll finish up these pipe cleaners. I'll hide them, or I'll curl them and add little balls to the end. But just want you to get an idea of how it'll look after I do that. This is it. Let me get that glare off. Let's move you guys a little bit. But it's really cute. I think so anyway. The black and white gives it a pop of color. And that's it, guys. Thanks for hanging with me. I'm glad I finally got to do this, and I'm glad you joined me. Thanks. See you next time, okay? Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.